To Arsenal 2, what an epic encounter at Stamford Bridge it really was. And it's a game that when you break it down is going to take time because it isn't simplistic, isn't easy to even talk about. For 75 minutes of this game, it was a clinic by Chelsea. For 75 minutes of this football match, it was majestic. I said in my preview before this game, I thought Arsenal would win 2-1. But I said that this idea that Chelsea would be steamrolled, blown away, wouldn't look good. The idea that they just scored goals against the Burnleys of this world and it meant nothing in the reality of football, I said was wrong. This isn't me claiming to have been right. This is me claiming I actually was wrong. Chelsea were beyond as good as I thought they would be. They performed to a level that I didn't expect them to be at yet. And there is still so much more to come from this Chelsea team. As I've been telling you for a while, don't write the club off. Don't start looking at the club like it's Luton or Leeds or some next team, next club. Nottingham Forest 2.0. They will be back. And tonight was almost a foreshadowing of the Chelsea of the future. Their defensive shape was impeccable and impenetrable. It was the strongest form of contraception ever invented by man. Arsenal lost the midfield battle. Caicedo, Enzo, Gallagher. By the way, Alex can't come on the show tonight. He's got family. But he said it would dominate, and he was absolutely spot on. Possession-wise, Arsenal had more of it. But dominating territories on the pitch that are critical, 110%, that battle was won by Chelsea. They were dangerous. They created chances. They created good openings. And I felt they were value for their lead. We're going to get into the penalty. We're going to get into everything else. But they were 2-0 up. And look, they got a penalty for the first goal. The second goal had an element of fortune to it. First of all, I thought it was a screamer. And then I rewatched it. And you see, he doesn't look. He mishits across. Raya, doing his best Onana impression, lets that goal in. But I did feel that Chelsea were value for that 2-0 lead. And as I say, up until that 75th minute, Chelsea were the best I have seen them in probably 18 months. And this is against Arsenal. All banter aside, Arsenal are a top team. They lost the midfield battle. They barely could break the lines. To a man for 75 minutes. Gusto had Martinelli in his pocket. Cucurella was back to his Brighton days. Absolutely fantastic. Thiago Silva at the back, 38, 39 years of age. The man's pushing 40. And he was towing his team along. The midfield battle we've already discussed. Caicedo and Enzo together. By the way, you got Lavia to come into this side as well. And Kunku to come in for Gallagher in the future. Be afraid of what's coming at Chelsea. 110%. 110%. And up front, they were dangerous. What they did, Cole Palmer. What a display from him. What a display from Cole Palmer. The way he was dropping off Gabriel and Saliba, they didn't know what to do. He confused them. Scored his penalty. Nearly scored a second. He was running the show. Running the show. It was majestic for 75 minutes. And then a mistake. A big mistake from Sanchez. Declan Rice scores a good goal, but from a massive mistake. 9 minutes later, brilliant football. Kai Havertz, Saka, a majestic, a wonderful, a beautiful cross from that man's left foot. And bang, Trossard, by the way, who came on in the 78th minute, I cannot believe for the life of me. One, why Partey didn't come on at halftime is crazy to me. Trossard should have come on much sooner. Poor management in that regard from Mikel Arteta, but it was 2-2. And Arsenal will look at this. Sorry, Chelsea will look at this as, how did we not win? You didn't lose. This might remind Chelsea of how I felt 2 weeks ago when we lost to Galatasaray. Almost, how did that happen? We dominated. We had the majority of the chances. We were leading. How have we ended up on the side that hasn't won? Chelsea fans, I know it's going to be hard to do, but you can take so much pride and happiness out of this draw, knowing what's coming as this team develops. Look how good you were for large parts defensively. You know you need a better goalkeeper moving forward as an example. You know you need a prolific number 9. That will come. Your owners are going to spend. But Chelsea have the foundations for a team that is coming back to the big time. It is as simple and as straightforward as that. Now, some might turn around and say, so I've seen a few people saying this on Poch. Yeah, look, maybe he shouldn't have taken off Mykhailo Mudryk, but in fairness, Jackson should have gone in and scored. Should have been 3-0. We should have hit that ball first time. We didn't. It gave Raya a chance. But from Arsenal's perspective, listen, Arsenal fans will be frustrated at that performance. And I understand why. However, and there's a massive however here, I'm going to be blunt with you. There's no need for arrogance today from Arsenal. Do you know why you weren't very good? Because Chelsea stopped you. Yes, I think Trossard and Partey should have come on earlier. You can look at that as an example. I don't really know why Jorginho started the game. Maybe Partey still isn't fully fit. There's areas you can question. But the reason that Arsenal were not able to play their game, the reason that Arsenal were not able to be at their best tonight is nothing to do with them being a flop or them being a bad team. I don't even think it was a bad day in the office per se. Chelsea were class on the grass. That is what they were. That is it for me. Again, Chelsea fans probably won't agree with that. Arsenal fans probably won't agree with it all because Chelsea fans will be gutted. Arsenal fans will want a better performance. Chelsea just stopped Arsenal for 75 minutes. The last 15 to 20 minutes of the game, you saw Arsenal be Arsenal when they scored 2 goals. They nearly won the football match. You saw a little bit of the old Chelsea before Poch creep in as they become a bit nervous. And it's going to take time to build that resilience. But Arsenal can look at this situation and know they can come back from dire situations. There is positivity to be taken out of this from an Arsenal point of view. Not the performance, but you're not always going to be able to perform. The reason today is going to feel like a shock is too many Arsenal fans wrote off the idea that Chelsea could deliver this type of performance. Too many said no chance. Egal's words were, if Chelsea beat Arsenal, it's a bigger shock than Sheffield United beating Man United. It was a nonsense. There's a comment that came through earlier, and I want to read this out. It's from Remy that says, Terry, what happened to your prediction that Arsenal would smash Chelsea? Well, Remy, that tells me that you did not watch the video. That tells me you're lying. I said a narrow win by Arsenal 2-1. So in terms of the score, I was 1 goal off. I was very close to being accurate. But if you listen to what I said Chelsea wouldn't be smashed. I said Chelsea wouldn't embarrass themselves. I said Arsenal wouldn't run through them. I said I think Arsenal are still clear. And Chelsea are not quite ready yet. And Chelsea are not quite ready yet. That's why they didn't see the game through. But Chelsea surpassed my expectations. But I think the reason why tonight will hurt Arsenal fans the most is because there has been a weird narrative created that Chelsea are done, Chelsea are finished, Chelsea are over the hill, they're never coming back as a club. If you've watched their games this season, this was plausible. I didn't think they'd be this good. But it was plausible. This is a good result in the end for Arsenal. It's a game that isn't going to damage their season. But Chelsea have shown the world tonight that they are not to be written off. They are not to be spoken about like a mid-table team because they are serious. And there'll be a bittersweet element. Chelsea fans will be happy with the performance and not the result. Arsenal fans will be okay with the result in the end, but not the performance. But there is a happy medium here. It was 2 very good teams, and Chelsea will prove themselves this season, believe you me, to be a very good team. A very good team. Arsenal weren't overly crap tonight. Chelsea were brilliant. Arsenal forced the collapse, the bottle from Chelsea because they are a really good team, and it got into the home straight, and Chelsea are just not quite ready yet. That's the truth. That's the facts. What people like Lee Gunner, what people like Egal said during the week, Chelsea are nothing, we're going to brush them aside, was just wrong. So if you're living in that world, which is incorrect, you're going to be overtly disappointed. But for me, as a neutral, this was nothing short of a fantastic, energizing, pulsating football match to watch. It really, really was. We're going to bring the panel out very, very soon. I want to go to some super chats first, because obviously you guys are the reason that we're here. We did this to ourselves. We had it, is what Arctic says here. No, Terry, Arsenal get no credit. Robert Sanchez, get out of my club. Well, do you know what I'd say, Juan? Good to see you back on the terrace. Arsenal deserves some credit, because if you're blaming Sanchez, if Raya was goalkeeping better, he would have caught that cross from Mudryk, and it would have been 1-0. So let's be fair about that. First goal, his fault, and second goal was savable. I hear what you're saying there. Those second one was hard, to be fair. Chelsea's best game of the season. We got lucky, is what Kenny Edgar says. I hear you there, bro. I feel robbed. Sanchez for F's sake. 4-0 game is what Dyke believes. Listen, Chelsea were very good tonight. I agree with you. I really hate when Hassam and Egal say we're going to stomp our opponents. We always play so poorly. Too much chest. Honestly, we deserve to lose that game. Very fair, very honest there from Anthony in relation to the performance from Arsenal tonight. Jerome here, a Tottenham fan, says Chelsea are clicking, and I swear they are going to be a massive problem. Where is Egal with his overconfidence and got red-faced once again? The man will never learn. I know that not everybody likes the expression football gods, but I was taught growing up by my dad and by my grandmother. My grandmother was an evangelical Christian. You can't get much more religious than that. Like, they shout hallelujah and shit at the front of the church. Her funeral was a madness. Football gods are real, but it's not really football gods. It's just tempting fate. Arsenal fans, Chelsea bottled. We bossed their arse. Arsenal fans, come outside, you frauds. 4-0, 5-1. Arsenal, I was hearing. No excuses, frauds. I feel robbed. What I will say as well, so you look at Chelsea's injury list in comparison, such a good night for Chelsea. We lost 2 points more than we earned, one because of an individual mistake, but damn, I was proud of the boys from Chelsea. And this is the thing, Jiggy. You can take something from this performance because you know this level of performance is going to yield more wins in the future. You're not ready yet, but you are going to get there. And, you know, I spoke about you guys when you beat Burnley and said, you guys are, I told everyone you guys are still scary. No, they're not scary. They're finished. Stupid take. My brother is a secret Arsenal fan. He was twerking for Arsenal for the last 2 weeks. Imagine how bad it is to see him watch Arsenal losing during the game. Sad days. Thanks for the super chat, Nabil, but that's a dead piece of banter. It means you don't watch the content. You're just out here looking for clout. Chelsea played the best game they will play this season, and Arsenal played their worst. Chelsea still couldn't win, is what Oppa of Dragons has got to say. Don't worry, next time, Saliba's jump with your hands up your arse. Stupid rule, in my opinion. Poor from us. Overall, people will overreact, but I'll take a draw. Look, on the penalty, we'll get the panel's opinion on that in a few moments' time, but I don't like that penalties are given for this, the same as I don't like the penalty that Liverpool got earlier today. But at least it's consistent, so I'm going to back that up. I like the consistency in the awarding of that penalty, and we've got to ask for consistency. Are you Spurs in disguise? Come on, you gooners. Poch out, get Poch out. Bottle job Spursy, shambles of performance. Sanchez diabolical. Sterling, Palmer, Enzo generational. Get Poch out. Man wants Poch out. Wow, that is from DR there. The way Arsenal played today, worse this season, is what AMT says. Terry, you've been saying for a while Chelsea are going to be scary. We got out of jail today. Thanks, Sanchez. Yeah, fam, do you know what it is, fam? You did get out of jail with that mistake from him, but Chelsea were never going to pale off into the sunset and never be seen again. It weren't going to happen. I want Ramsdale back, Partey back in midfield. We'll be talking about that with the panel when it comes to Raya, because he's doing an Onana right now. My beef is towards Sam. Gave Chelsea no chance. Arsenal literally have no excuses for being outplayed because of their form and fully fit squad compared to Chelsea's. Thank you, Blaze. Brother, this is so disappointing. We should have won. I get your disappointment, my friend. OB here. By the way, it's really nice to see my Chelsea fans, the Chelsea viewers of the Terrace back again. Thank you all. It's very humbling to see you all back here. Thank you. This should give us confidence for the future, and I think for the fans it does, but I hope this draw doesn't have the opposite effects on the players. I don't believe it will. I think you'll go from strength to strength from this. Poch knows what he's doing. Alex here says, even now Arsenal fans are acting shameless. They are saying we bottled it, even though none of them gave us a chance. Wow, the Poch hate is unbelievable. He is making Chelsea players good, playing good football, and only results are not there. Give him time and he will make Chelsea a team to fear, is what Jerome says. Unlucky penalty and a cross that led to a goal. Versus a very lucky goal by Rice and a world-class goal by Saad. Unbeaten. Come on, you gooners, is what Ahmed says here, backing his team. 2 goals from a bad pen and a foul cross. Chelsea didn't earn either goal, and their fans should be happy with the draw. They deserved much less, is what Kyle believes here today. Wow, big take there from Kyle. Arsenal robbed. The ref gave a dodgy pen and a fluke goal. Clear Arsenal pen not given, and Palmer should have been sent off for a second yellow at 0-0. Waving imaginary cards is what Lou E has got to say. Juan says, be proud, Chelsea fans. A goalie was the difference. We will be back. Arsenal enjoy your success, but we will win a Prem before you guys. Juan out here backing his team. Chelsea really puts out Arsenal for 70 minutes. If Chelsea kept concentrating for the whole 90, no mistakes, they would have won the game. I thought Chelsea would win after the 70th minute. Yeah, and honestly, when Arsenal equalised, I thought they were going to go on and win just because of the flow. You're right. This super chat here says, I don't want to hear any excuses from Arsenal fans. People said Chelsea will get slapped. Mate, you're right. It's crazy that people were saying that, Ike. Really crazy takes. Terry, stop bringing Egal whenever he's given Arsenal kids the kiss of death every time he says we destroy a team. I'm not going to stop bringing Egal. I love my brother Egal, but yeah, this time he's got to probably take it on the chin. A game of 2 shit goalkeepers, gutting that the naivety of the young team cost us 3 points in attack and defense. Growing pains, but we move, is what Giant Africa says. I said on the Top 6 show on Thursday, if Arsenal are overconfident and take this game lightly, Chelsea will get points off Arsenal. Egal, the football gods are real, is what Zayn has got to say. Saka and Martinelli were bossed around by Chelsea's backup fullbacks. How are you guys this hyped? Listen, Gusto and Cucurella are good players. It was good. I was actually quite happy to see Cucurella back, and I was thinking, damn, I wish we got him on loan today. I was genuinely thinking that. We're going to come back to some more of your super chats in a moment. I'm going to bring out the panel now, people. We've got Egal here. We've got Nathan here. We've got we've got Jason. I forget everyone's names. We've got Omar here. Saad, sorry, not Omar. Omar was his pal. We got Chez, we got Gunnar Sulz, we got Winter Surfer as well. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Sorry, I forgot your name there, my bro. We'll come back to them super chats in a minute. I want to go to Egal first. You were supremely confident before this game kicked off, Egal, that this would be an easy win.
Never said easy win.
Talk your talk, Egal.
Don't ever. These people are liars. Go watch the tape back. I said Manchester United losing and Arsenal is different. I was making a joke about that. I never said this game was going to be an easy win. I predicted 2-0. Guess what? You guys had a 2-goal lead. You ended up bottling it to us because we came back in this game and we could potentially win it if there was more time on the table. Let's be honest. The first half, we were horrendous. We were terrible. We didn't do nothing in the first half. Our attack was non-existent. And you know what? I got to give you guys credit there. You guys took your goals well. You scored your penalty. I didn't even think the penalty should have been a penalty, but hey, there it is. These are the rules. I can't complain about it. When it comes to Cole Palmer, he shouldn't even stay on the pitch. The guy should have been sent off. But hey, I guess they don't want to send off players now in these big games. That's what the referees are saying. They want to keep it competitive. So let them keep it competitive. I don't actually have much smoke for these Chelsea guys because they played well. I got to give them credit. Up until a certain point, they played well. Once we made our substitutions and Mikel Arteta was actually reactive, not proactive. He should be more proactive. He should have made those substitutions earlier. This game needed those substitutions to spark up the team. And it's no coincidence that the guys that came off the bench made a big difference. Trossard scoring a goal. Even though Emil Smith-Rowe was on for a short period, I felt like let's be honest, what was Odegaard doing for the majority of this game? I was more frustrated with my own players. I'll give Chelsea credit. They defended well, but once the game got late into the game, it looked like we were the only team seriously trying to win this game, and they were just trying to keep the score down. And our players could feel it. That's why the momentum shifted. And you know what? I'm disappointed that we couldn't finally try to get a sneak win at the end. But hey, I'm happy with the point now based on the fact that we were 2-0 down. And don't anyone try to lie and say I said 4 or 5-0. I only said 2-0. And you know what?
I mean, now, Egal.
Guess what?
I would say this.
Anyone was predicting. This is a massive disappointment.
Egal, I need to rebuttal your points, bro. You're not
One second. You can rebuttal whatever you want.
No, I need to jump in.
Let me land this last point. Chelsea fans are going to be disappointed. They were 2-0 up and they didn't win the game. Arsenal fans are going to be disappointed. We had time still on the table to come back and our performance in the first half. No team is leaving this game happy.
Can I say, Terry, you want to talk or can I talk?
No, go on. You go, bro.
Perfect. Boom, big screen. I need to get this agenda up. Arsenal are in a 4-year rebuild. 4-year project. We are in a 6-month project. If you want to be specific, 4-month project with Pochettino. We went toe-to-toe to Arsenal today. Every single Arsenal fan on this panel and every single Arsenal fan before this game was chatting the most. We're going to dominate the game. It's going to be tough, but we're going to see it out. We literally handed you the draw. Sanchez, if he doesn't make that mistake, which is pathetic, and no one could say Arsenal gave him that mistake, it was the pressure, it was this, it was that. Sanchez's mistake led to the draw, and heads go down. That's football. That can happen. But I'm not going to have any man like Egal come on this stream and tell me Chelsea didn't deserve that win. Chelsea didn't dominate that game, head to toe, goalkeeper to striker. We played well. We bottled it in the end, and I'll own that. We bottled it. The stupid mistake, the heads go down, we could see 2 goals in 7 minutes. And Arsenal are a good team. That's why no one thought Chelsea would get battered, because everyone respected Arsenal, right? But to come here and say that Arsenal, if we played the rest of the game, could have won the game, that's cap. You didn't pressure us to concede that goal we conceded. It was a stupid mistake. And Saad, a guy, all you man before the game were confident, Chelsea will be calm, Look what happened. A 4-month rebuild, we still managed to give you man smoke in the game. What's going on? Mudryk this, Mudryk that. Got the penalty, which is the penalty, by the way, Gal. How can you be shameless to say it wasn't a penalty when he's got his arms sticking out with a header? Allow it. And then the goal Mudryk scored, fortuitous. But guess what? He's been playing well recently, and he's got a goal against you, man. So I want to hear nothing. But to say we didn't dominate that game, the midfield, the defence, what did Martinelli and Saka do that game? Saka world-class for the assist. I'll give him credit. But again, goals and assists masking the fact he didn't play well. Arsenal's front three, fit for the first time. What did they do against my defence? Nothing. Nothing the whole game. So don't sit here and say Chelsea didn't deserve to win that game. We could have gone on to win the game. No, you didn't deserve it. We bottled it. You didn't earn it. We bottled it. And label
you're celebrating the fact that you bottled the 2 goal.
Am I celebrating? Do I look angry to you?
You're celebrating the fact that you bottled the 2 goal.
I'm not angry. Look at my face. Am I angry? Am I happy?
I don't care if you're angry, bro. You're coming on here chatting shit.
You man was shit. I thought you man were going to pop us around. I thought you were going to play football. There. We dominated you. Look at my midfield. We had debate on your channel about your midfield. What did your midfield do against mine today? What did it do? How many clear-cut chances did you create this game? How many? Someone talk.
I told you from the beginning.
That's what I thought. No, you didn't tell me nothing. You told me to be close, but you'll win the game. And you out-pepper us. We scored 2 goals against you.
You're celebrating a 2-2 draw your own house.
Everton.
You're celebrating a 2-2 draw your own house. Pathetic. The standards of Chelsea Football Club have dropped to this level. Pathetic. You should feel sorry for yourself.
You beat Everton at home. You beat Everton away, who lost to Luton at home. And you beat Bournemouth, everyone's whipping boys this season, who you man laughed at us for not beating them. Yeah? And I told you, man, it's not going to be easy. I thought we'd win 2-1. We bottled it. And let me touch on Chelsea for a cut-off.
Remember that. You bottled it. Why are you celebrating?
Am I celebrating? Look at my face.
Are. You're giving a Nelson Mandela speech like you won 4-0. What are you doing?
Are you all right? Did you beat us? Did you beat us? Don't chat.
No, but why are you sitting here?
Sit down there. Keep humble. Egal, keep humble. You didn't pop us around. You did shit to us. We gave you the goals.
You guys couldn't maintain it. You had a 2-goal lead. You bottled it in your own ground. Remember that. Sleep at night knowing you bottled a 2-goal lead.
Settle down, Egal. Settle down. Settle down. You didn't beat us. You didn't pop us. So I don't hear no chat from you about Chelsea if you beat you 3 times. Settle down. We gave you the win. Not even the win, the draw.
So we won now.
Me about fucking
you guys are moving like Tottenham, celebrating a 2-2 draw. Go ahead.
Am I celebrating? You
Bro,
should be
you
fucking
are.
pissed.
Why are you still
I know
on screen?
Sulz, yeah? Sulz chats ball. I know he's going to be like, we played shit, we didn't deserve to draw. And you should be saying the same thing. You're coming out here shameless about we didn't deserve the penalty, rare tear tear. Bro, cut the shit. You were shit today. Own it. It's football.
You just get triggered by anything.
You were shit, bro.
1 second. Let me just make my point abundantly clear. I said, these things happen, you move on. I question the rule, but I get it. We keep it moving. But I'm not sitting here celebrating. I said, you guys played well in the first half. We played shit. Second half, we had an opportunity to win the game. We didn't capitalize because we were so poor in the first half. I called out all my players. The only thing I said is you borrowed the 2-goal lead and both teams should be upset. You seem like you're celebrating. You seem like you're here saying rah, rah, ha. Like no one's sitting here and you guys are getting a moral victory because you played well against one of the best teams in the league. But yet you want to sit here and belittle Arsenal. Which one is it?
I'll give you one more thing, yeah? You man are in your don't interrupt me by the way, 4-year rebuild. You won fuck all. You won an FA Cup. In the same time you man had your rebuild, you won a fucking Champions League. But your fans want to chat like you're the best cream of the crop. You're beating City. You're doing this. You're doing that. You've won nothing. And today showed you that rebuild. Listen, don't interrupt me. Rebuild show you they don't need to take 4 years. 4 months rebuild, and we still competed against a team that probably was going to smash us, dominate us, control the game. Our front three is back. You had your best team minus Thomas Partey on the team, bro. Your starting 11 was your best team. That wasn't Chelsea's best team, G. You know that, right? That wasn't Chelsea's even second best team. And you still struggled. So I'm looking for the positives. We bottled it. And look at my face. I'm pissed. But to come here and be shameless and go, a handball, hey, we didn't deserve it. And if the game went on for an extra 10 minutes, what kind of semantical, like, fairyland world you looking in, bro? Own it. You bottled it. We bottled it, sorry. And you man didn't play well. And we should have won that game. A 4-month rebuild, 4-year rebuild. On to the Chelsea fans. I'm done.
I don't think anyone disagrees with the fact.
Go on, Nate. Forgot you, bro.
Yeah, so I don't think anyone disagrees with the fact we didn't play well. Like, no one's sitting here talking like Arsenal played well. Everyone could see we played trash today, right? And for me personally, I look at it like where, come 90 minutes, we were fortunate to walk away with a 2-2, considering the way we played. I mean, early on in the game, I think Zinchenko did a pass inside the box, gave the ball away. I think Jorginho hit the ball out. Declan Rice gave the ball away. We were horrible today. But at the same time, they, as good as Chelsea were on the ball and in midfield and dominating, they didn't really open us up as much as they should have. And, they still gave us a way back into that game. I mean, both goalkeepers made some horrible mistakes. Horrible. I think Raya was poor for the first goal, and obviously Sanchez for our first goal as well. But as good and dominant of a midfield performance as that was, they weren't like they're going on like they created 10, 20 chances, clear-cut chances, and peppered us. We were absolutely shit. And I think Jorginho midfield was the epitome of it, along with Odegaard. I mean, we saw it against Spurs. Whenever you put him up against midfielders who've got energy, he can't compete. He hasn't got the legs to be in that midfield. And he was just getting dominated, overran. He couldn't pass the ball forward. It was clear in that first half that he shouldn't have been on that pitch. Odegaard was anonymous once again. Didn't do nothing, didn't turn up. I mean, when them two came off, we saw a slightly better Arsenal. But yeah, all in all, it was a poor game from our perspective. You've got to give props to Chelsea because they played well. Their midfield control, bossed the game. They pressed us hard. Cole Palmer on the right was in the right / false nine was class. But at the same time, end of the day, they threw the game away. And it's all about results at the end of the day. No one's going to remember performances like that. It's something to take for them. But at the end of the day, it's when you play horribly and you take something away from the game, you've got to take them points and run. Because if you're trying to compete for a title, that's all that matters is points on the board. As bad as we were and horrible as we were.
Yeah. As long as you kind of bounce back from that, I totally get it. Egal, I wanted to ask you a question, and I'm obviously going to speak to the rest of the panel as well. He ain't here to speak for him. Actually, you know what? We'll save that for Monday's show. I want to speak about. No, I will bring it up now. The midfield battle. because Alex on the Top 6 show on Saturday stated that he believes that Caicedo and Enzo with Gallagher would dominate your midfield three. Now, you didn't have Partey out there, but were you disappointed with the performance of your midfield today? And was that due to Jorginho starting or just Chelsea's midfield being too dominant for you?
I don't think Chelsea's midfield was dominant. I think they actually bypassed the midfield and went straight to their wingers. I thought Declan Rice and Jorginho had a decent game. Only Odegaard for me had a terrible game out of the midfielders. Where Chelsea's midfield, did they really? Their midfield wasn't the factor that won them this game, or even got.
We totally dominate that midfield. Totally.
I'm
dominate.
looking at
Don't
Chelsea's.
chat rubbish,
I'm looking.
man.
One second.
No. I'm not
sitting here. I'm not sitting here saying. I'm not sitting here literally team.
We dominated.
I'm just merely giving my analysis of the game. I don't think the Chelsea midfield
every facet.
This game.
We dominated every facet of that game. Okay.
Let me
we dominated. You to say we didn't dominate the field is total BS and deflection.
Bro,
on your
you're
own
missing my goddamn point. Because you came out. You came out and said you didn't think we dominated. Listen to my point.
Because you came out and said we didn't dominate, and we did. We
whatever.
dominated your midfield.
Guys, let me jump in a minute. Let Egal finish his point, and then I'll go to you, Winter Surfer, to rebuttal it, mate. All right, go on, Egal.
I thought Jorginho and Rice had a good game. Odegaard was the one that didn't have a good game for me out of the midfield. When it comes to their midfield, I thought they did a good job actually bypassing our midfield and getting it straight to their wingers and pushing them, using them to push up the pitch. The best player out of their midfield was Conor Gallagher. He was always a pest and giving us problems throughout the game. But hey, they want to talk about Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo like they bossed the game. It wasn't an Enzo and Caicedo masterclass. It was a situation where Gallagher was the best out of the three of them, and you can debate me on that anytime you want. And when it comes to your wingers, they were the key to this game. They're the ones that progress the ball the most. They're the ones that they're your outlet, and you continuously play the ball through the wings. Don't act like you won the game by playing through the middle.
Winter Surfer, I'm going to go over to you to respond to what Egal said there.
The midfield, that we dominated every facet of that game. The only one that was equal was we both had shit goalkeepers, and that's the big. Arteta didn't make any impact on that game. It was Sanchez the one who made the impact for Arsenal in that game by giving away that ball. That midfield dominated you. I don't care. You have to question your manager for not starting high. Everything we've heard this week, every starting 11 had Partey in the middle of that midfield. You should be questioning your manager for not even bringing him on at half time if he's fully fit to try and stabilise that midfield. Declan Rice had a goodish game. It was your further ahead midfield. He wasn't in there apart from the goal. I thought we dominated him fully. Odegaard again. Absolutely dominated. You couldn't get the ball to Odegaard at all. Caicedo and Enzo were good. Even Gallagher was good. Even David Raya Gallagher was good in this game. Gallagher, Raya had awesome games. Cole Palmer had a great game. I don't care what anyone says. We dominated every facet of that game. Okay? Yeah, we didn't pepper your goal. That's absolutely fine. But to say that the midfield didn't dominate or didn't have an influence or anything like that is total rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
I just said the stand-up performers.
You're downplaying.
No, I merely said that Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo were not the stand-up performers in this game, and that's just a cast-iron fact.
They were stand-up.
You're going to sit here and act like Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo won you this game. They weren't the guys that won you this game. You bypassed the midfield and went through to your wings, and that's a good strategy.
We did not bypass.
Don't sit here and act like you bossed the game through your midfield.
We bossed the midfield. We bossed your midfield. We bossed your midfield the entire
Arsenal
game.
had more possession in more deadly areas.
What did you do with it?
You guys moved the ball quickly through. One second. You moved the ball quickly through your wings. How is it? 1 second.
What did you do with the possession?
Am I missing something here?
Or is it
when you play the ball through the wings and your most progressive midfielder, doesn't even.
Martinelli was in Gusto's pocket the entire game. You did nothing with that possession at all. You did nothing.
That should be even more worrying. The moment Reece James comes on, we score a goal back post.
That wasn't. He was playing right wing. He was playing right wing. He wasn't playing right back. He was playing right wing when he came.
Can I ask Egal a question just about our midfield?
Listen, simply put, you're making it see. I'm just sitting here and I'm just merely stating that you're acting like Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo will have got you this result.
Let me finish. That is clear deflection tactics from you again, blaming a player for the back post who wasn't even at the back post. That was Gusto, okay? That's clear deflection from you again. You won't criticise your manager for not bringing on Partey.
I fully criticised Arteta. What are you talking about?
You've not criticised Arteta this entire game. You said he came.
What are you talking about? First thing I said is he should have made substitutions quicker.
You said his substitutes changed the game and had impact on the game. They did
He
not.
should have made the substitutions earlier. Is that not criticising the manager?
Sanchez had an impact on that game for you. He was your biggest impact.
And I could say Raya had an impact for you.
That's fine. He did as well. But we were 2-0 up at the time when Sanchez had the impact.
He gave you the second goal. It was a lucky strike too.
Deflection tactics.
Can I just go quickly? Because
I'm going to Saad here. Like, what do you make of what's being said here in terms of the midfield battle?
The thing is, I don't fully understand where Egal's coming from, because I feel like we got dominated in the midfield. I think the only player for us that can really leave there with their head held high is Declan Rice for me, and Trossard when he came on. Maybe even Kai Havertz, because he looked like he had more passion to try and win this game than any of the other players in there, and that's how embarrassing it is right now. We've come in, we do not deserve to win that game at all. At all. So the fact that we've actually come out with the draw here, we have literally been handed a get out of jail free card. Literally been handed a get out of jail free card. The fact that we've managed to draw this game is crazy. Now, yes, I did come out before the game and say, yeah, we'd smack them. I expected my manager to put out the correct team, to put out Thomas Partey. Even at half-time, I'm like, there's no way Jorginho is going to come out. There is no way that after that first half, Jorginho is coming out for this second half. Zinchenko got substituted. Fair enough. That was well-deserved. The guy was on a yellow card. He was sporadic all over the place. Didn't know where he was. That left side was getting torn apart so many times that they were going down that left side, their right-handed side. And as soon as Jorginho comes out, I'm like, what's going on? And then you expect Jorginho to finally come off in the second halfway through the second half, and he brings on Nketiah and Emil Smith-Rowe. I'm like, right, so Mikel Arteta's clearly thrown this game for us. And after about 70, 75 minutes, it looked like we weren't even bothered anymore. It looked like we gave up. All of a sudden, the goalkeeper makes a mistake, Rice scores, automatically we wake up. And we do this every single time. Every single time. The last 10 minutes, we wake up, all of a sudden we're going around, we're trying to play, we're playing well. Why do we wait until the last 10 minutes of a game to finally wake up and smell the coffee? We're finally playing. I don't understand why this team does this. And if you really want to be called, and I believe this team can win the league. I do believe this team can win the league. If you want to come out and act like that, if the manager wants to come out and act like that, and you expect yourself to win the league, there's no way you're going to do it. There's no way when you're putting performances like that. And also on Raya, by what Mikel Arteta's been saying, this is 3 games in a row where he's had dodgy moments. By his own words, Raya should be dropped. Ramsdale should be put back into that squad. Because he told us it's competition. These 2 goalkeepers are very good and they're competing against each other. So in next game, I expect to see Ramsdale in that starting lineup, because Raya has had 3 mistakes in 3 games that have nearly cost us. That Cole Palmer one, I do not know how he didn't score. I feel like they should have been 4 or 5-0 up. If I'm being honest, I had Andy on the channel with me at half-time. Even he's telling me, oh my God, how is Jorginho playing? I didn't even realize. How has he played? I just don't understand. Odegaard, I feel like he was being too... He was rushing everything. Rushing every single pass, trying to be too quick. Do you know what I mean? He misplaced 2 passes, one to Saka and one to Gabriel Jesus. Why are you rushing? Even on that one for Gabriel Jesus, he had loads of time. The guy wasn't even next to him. The guy was way behind him. You didn't even need to rush it. Just have a look around, try and find the right option. But we're trying to rush for what reason? We've always been the team that hold a higher line. We take our time we want to, and we can speed up the game when we want to. Odegaard normally is the one that helps us speed up that game. He's the playmaker in the team. He's the creative outlet. So I expect him to be doing way more in this game. So at the end of the day, man, I'm so disappointed with the performance, and I'm so disappointed with the team and how we've come out, the manager's decisions, the manager's substitutions, and it's just not a good day for Arsenal fans today. I'll be so honest with you. And listen, big up to Chelsea, because they came out there and ran their socks off. A lot of their players, apart from Sanchez, who had a mare in that second half, apart from him, I think Gusto had a very good game. Cucurella I don't know what's happened to that guy. Is that what happens when you get linked to Man United? I mean,
I don't know about that. It's what happens when a team starts. It's what happens when a team starts playing well. You know, suddenly these players that everyone says are trash, kind of come alive. Some of the super chats here, because there's a lot of them. I'm going to come to you boys in a minute. Raya isn't good enough, in my opinion, and Ramsdale is still my number one. And Partey should have definitely started this game instead of Jorginho. From an Arsenal fan point of view, Gunnar Souls. I know there's lots to speak about, but when it comes to Raya, is this experiment hurting Arsenal now? It's 3 dodgy games on the bounce. Is it time that Ramsdale goes back in goal, in your opinion?
I thought Raya was meant to be an upgrade. I've not seen any improvements at all. In actual facts, we've probably regressed in some senses as well. Now, the reality is a lot of people can take Ramsdale making a few mistakes because he's actually got us to the position we're in. You know, Ramsdale's the reason we're playing Champions League football. He's the reason we're in a title challenge. He's the reason why there's a rejuvenation and a unity within this fan base. As much as people want to criticize his ability, he is one of the key reasons why there's even any unification within the fan base. His passion, the way he wants to play for the club, is everything we've asked for in a signing. We want our players to play for the club and for the badge, and he has. And then what do you do? What's his reward for actually bringing us back to where we should have been 4 years ago? We shouldn't even be talking about top 4. We should be talking about competing for the league when Arteta came in. But the reality is the club had regressed so much, and Ramsdale, players like Ramsdale, Ben White, have taken us back to this place. ESR, to add to that as well. Other than last season, he was one of the catalysts of changes for Arteta. Trossard last season kept us in the title challenge. Where does the reward come into this? A lot of these players are looking at it like, yeah, we can get away with murder. He's got his favourites. He has got his favourites when he wants to buy them, whether they're in the club, and he's got his favourites. He's got his set. He knows David Raya was always going to be his number one, regardless of what stinkers he puts out, regardless of how poorly he performs. Ramsdale isn't getting back into the starting 11. Now, I've always said it, it's a now. You have to deliver. If we don't deliver, this whole project can go in the bin. Because I am fucking done with it all. Because the reality is, you made the bold decision of bringing Raya in, and he's made mistake after mistake after mistake. So, if he doesn't have the balls to drop Raya and bring Ramsdale in like he promised us, it's about competition. It's about keeping the team alert. It's about keeping the team concentrated. And he can't do that. And he doesn't sit there and go, do you know what? I made a mistake. I'm going to bring Ramsdale back in. If he doesn't do it, then this entire project can go in the bin. Do you know why? Because the fans for the past 4 seasons have said we trust the process. The minute we ask the manager to trust this process, the guy puts it in the bin. So now the question's over to Arteta. Do you have what it takes to drop your favourites? Odegaard, I don't want to see him play the next game either. I don't want to see him play either. I want you to drop your favourites. Let's see if you've got the minerals to do it. Because the fans been taking a lot of slack for you. So let's see if you can do it. I want to see Raya drop, and I want to see Odegaard drop. Let's see if you trust your process.
Brandon, do you agree with that from an Arsenal point of view?
100%, Tel. I've posed this question before anyway. Is Raya actually an upgrade on Ramsdale? If he is, it's very, very minute. Yeah, because maybe you can argue that his distribution is slightly better than Ramsdale. But apart from that, I don't see any improvement. I agree 100% with Gunnar Sulz. 1,000,000%. And look, there's no excuses for today. No excuses whatsoever. Yeah, them lot should all be made to do community service tomorrow because of that absolute criminal performance. Shocking performance. Yeah, we was dominated in every single position of the pitch. The midfield, dominated. Yeah, defensively, very, very shaky. And our front three, shocking. And look, I've heard people talking about, you know, Jorginho this, Jorginho that. And it's cool. And I understand it. I didn't want Jorginho to start today. I wanted Thomas Partey to start today. But apart from the Jorginho one, every other player in that team is our starting 11. So there's no excuses. Not one player, performed today. Everybody was shocking. Gabby Jesus had 27 touches all game. 27. Bukayo Saka couldn't get round Cucurella. Yeah, Martinelli struggled against Gusto. And the worst thing is we're in our 4th season of a 5-year project. Chelsea are going through a process, and they're in their 1st season, and we should beat them. They're 10th. Yeah, until the Burnley game where they scored 5 goals, they couldn't score more than 1. And today they should have had 4 or 5. Absolutely dreadful performance from top to bottom. Yeah, top to bottom. And the manager has to take a lot of flack as well, because again, his in-game management, this is the one thing that I question with Mikel Arteta. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Mikel Arteta is not a good manager. Very good coach. Yeah, very good coach. It's clear to see he's a very good coach because he gets the best out of players, you know, at his disposal, or his players that he's brought in. Yeah. So, for example, Martin Odegaard, he's a much better player now than what he was at Real Madrid. Yeah. So he knows how to improve players. But in terms of being a manager is there to win your team points as well with his in-game management and his in-game decisions. And Arteta's in-game decisions at times are absolutely shocking. Whether that be personnel that he chooses to bring on, whether that be timing of substitutions. Yeah, shocking. Let me ask you this as well, right? Arteta made the decision to sign Kai Havertz. £65 million. The missing piece to the puzzle. The player that is going to, make sure that Arsenal compete again this season, right? So if that's the case, why wasn't he the first player to come off the bench today? Why did he wait so long to bring on Kai Havertz, to bring on Trossard? Which, by the way, thank you, Trossard, because once again, you saved Arsenal today. Once again, you helped us get a point that we didn't deserve. And nobody should be surprised by this, right? Nobody should be surprised by this because we've only had a handful of good performances this season. For the majority of this season, we have been shit. Crap. And there's only so long that you can get away with poor performances, but keep getting results. And people will look at this as, oh, well, it doesn't matter because Arsenal are getting the results. Arsenal getting the results. When's the performances going to improve? This is our ninth game.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point being raised there. We're going to come to David and the Chelsea boys in a few moments. I want to get some more of these super chats done, just because you guys have put them in, and I appreciate it. If this was 4-0 to Chelsea, no one would say anything. Very good midfield play by Chelsea. I think it's I do think it's a fair point, especially after some of them as mistakes. Nobody would have questioned it. First time super chatter here, an Arsenal fan. It's well and good being confident about a match, but as fans, we have to keep some humility because anything can happen in this league. We move again. Come on, you gooners. That's from Generic African. Thank you very much for the super chat, my bro. We was the better team. I don't want to hear excuses. No one expected us to be 2-0. Palmer was the best player today. Yeah, Palmer was quality, Daniel. You're spot on, mate. Boys played well. Young team. Heads almost went. The people who wrote Chelsea off completely don't actually watch football. On the right path. Mondo says Arsenal were poor overall. Terry Saliba was not at his usual level. Raya did a couple of mistakes. Odegaard was poor. Rice was not at his usual level despite the goal. Lost a lot of momentum in the break. Listen, I think that's a very, very accurate super chat. Odegaard is being held up and cautious with the press with Jorginho in the midfield. Partey should have been on as he can progress the ball better. That's a great point. Bad performance, but still didn't lose. No reason to lose our minds. If we are shit and still get a point, that's better than playing well and losing, is what Remy says. I see you react there, Jason. What's wrong?
No, I mean,
you're on mute. There you go.
Be fair, like in terms of it's not better to be better than losing. You have to be happy being losing, but it's just ridiculous because we haven't had one standout game of the season. Like, what can I say? Now, obviously, we're talking about the controlled performance throughout the season. Like, we were talking about being controlling the games, but where was the standout performance today? We were absolutely poor. Like, it's kind of remind me of that Lens game as well in terms of playing sideways, backwards football as well. It's just absolutely can't.
Right, this is the problem, right? Arsenal have no plan B. We have plan A, and if that don't work, we're fucked, basically. Yeah?
Literally, I'm saying this, yeah, like Arteta is always, I feel like he never learns from his mistakes, because in terms of, in every game that I watched this season, always been reactive. When has he ever been proactive in every game that he played? That's what I'm saying. Like 75 minutes, he makes a sub. Like, why does he have to make a sub that late? Sub this late? It's just.
I fully agree with you, bro. But I'm just gonna say this. Overall, there's a lot of negatives to take from this game. Luckily, we didn't draw. We drew and we didn't lose the game. And from here on out, I need to see better.
No.
One second. We can't go back every 2 seconds. We need to go forward. So I'm going to go forward for a second. And I'm just going to say, we need to see better attacking performances going forward. Who's speaking? I'm
God. Yeah, go for
it. My bad, bro. Just let me just land this and then you can go. I'm personally just saying we need to see better offensive performances. We can give Chelsea credit for their defense. We had one of the worst halves of football I've seen us have in well over 2 years. And that you got to give them their credit there defensively. Second half, we showed a little bit more light. Mikel Arteta has to do more with the substitutions. I fully agree with you. But overall, going forward, we need to improve our attack. We cannot be serious title contenders if we're not going to start scoring goals. Last year, we scored a lot of goals, and that's what got us this lead that we were so happy with. We're still undefeated in London derbies. We're still undefeated this season in the league. There's some positives to take away, but overall, the performance was terrible. The result was not what we wanted, and we move. I'm not going to cry over it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, obviously, first half, I'm just going to say, fair play to Chelsea. Like, from the get-go, they pressed us well. Midfield battle, we absolutely dominated as well. Arteta got his lineup wrong. Should have played Partey instead. Tried to be clever and play Jorginho. And you know what? We got absolutely dominated. And fair play to Gusto and Cucurella. They played really well in the fullback.
Yeah.
There you go.
They certainly did. Cheers, Egal. David, like, from your point of view as a Chelsea fan, how proud are you with the performance today? I know you let it go at the end, but overall, what did you make of the display?
I was just say, I'm actually not too annoyed. Again, I'm not expecting much from this team at all. So to get a 2-2 draw against Arsenal, quite happy. It's not a drop in standards. It's just, it's what the situation we're currently in. So, you've got to adjust your standards slightly. But does it mean I don't want this team to progress in the future? I thought we played very well. Kept Arsenal to minimal chances. And the only reason they got back in the game is because Sanchez decided to pass them the ball. That's the only reason they got back into the game. He just passed the ball and decided.
Minimal chances. David, we had our first shot on target in the
literally. Literally, he just passed you the ball and was like, "Rice, you fancy putting it in the other corner?"
It's like he went. It's like he saw Raya and went, "I can top this. Hold my beer."
Yeah, like on it, like it wasn't great, but it is what it is. To be honest, right, I've heard all the Arsenal talk because for us, I mean, it's even though it's 3 points dropped, it is technically a point game, so we take it. I'm actually looking at Arsenal thinking, is this really that much of a bad Arsenal performance? Because I feel like I've seen this performance quite a lot from Arsenal this year. I feel like this has happened more frequently than people give it credit for, and it's just instead of playing Chelsea, they played Bournemouth. They've got away with it. Mm-hmm. And it's just carried on. And you've come up against, I know we're not great, but we're not like a bad team. Like, we really aren't a bad team. So it doesn't shock me that, like, when you started making loads of mistakes and not playing to the standard you should be, you didn't win. That doesn't shock me at all. So
the only thing that I'd say to that, though, David, the one thing that I held on to as an Arsenal fan is, we haven't performed great at all. Most of the season, we've only had a handful of like good performances, like you say, Bournemouth, PSV. They're the only standout ones. The only thing that I was holding on to was the fact that Jesus, Saka, and Martinelli have only played 22 minutes of Premier League football together this season. So I thought, cool, they're all back fit, firing now. You got Odegaard behind, Rice and Partey in the middle. There's no reason why we shouldn't be comfortably beating Chelsea. And at the end of it, right, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, Pochettino set you up spot on. like I said, Arsenal have a plan A, no plan B, and this is a big, big problem, right? Because teams now have the blueprint on how to beat Arsenal. 2 banks of 4 when you're defending, right? And then hit on the counter and try and dominate the midfield area. Because as soon as you stifle Arsenal in the midfield area, we offer nothing. And Egal, as he was going, said about we need to attack better. I don't remember our attackers actually getting the ball. Why? Because Chelsea dominated us in the midfield.
Yeah.
Well, this is the one thing I would say. Again, I don't want to. It's not. I'm not trying to prop Arsenal up. I'm sort of looking at it from a point of view of if Chelsea hadn't had the last 18 months they had, and you went away to Chelsea, and this was the result and the performance, I don't think anybody looks at it as a bad result. I think it's because. Do you understand? Where I get if you were away at West Ham, away at Sheffield United, away at I don't bloody know Bournemouth, and this happens, you get it. This is still Chelsea. This is still a team that has invested £1 billion into its squad. I understand where you're coming from, but I also think that Chelsea were very, very good.
We're not as bad as people think we are. We're just not. We aren't. And you know what? Me as a numbers person, when you take a deep dive into our numbers, we are actually quite a good team. We've just been quite unfortunate that our players just decide to not put the ball in the back of the net.
My challenge for these players, though, my challenge for these players, go do that next week against Brentford.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What's it? Before I go, because I need to. I'm going to watch the UFC. I know Terry's watching it right now.
I've got it recorded. I've got it recording. So
all I'm gonna say is, I said last year, a certain Kai Havertz is Gabby Jesus Gabby Jesus is Kai Havertz with a bit of seasoning, and it still stands to this day. And I'm off. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. I'm going to do super chats here because there's quite a lot of them. This one says Arsenal got a similar penalty against Spurs. Why are their fans saying this one isn't a penalty? Yeah, look, for me, based on those penalties being given, it is one. The horrendous decision here, again, I don't think it should be a penalty. But by the letter of the law, it is. That's the point I'm making here.
Why did they do handball was so easy to determine before they messed about with it.
Yeah. No, I agree. The rule's crap, but under the new way, it's a pen. This hurts. Yes, it's something to build on, but Chelsea still need time. Young squad is gelling. This is part of the experience for this young squad, how to close it out. I agree. Stephen here, Zaguna, says we didn't play well at all, but to hear those Chelsea fans say they're proud of their team when they bottled a 2-goal lead is that strange. Now, Stephen, I can't talk for you, Stephen, but I remember seeing Arsenal fans that were proud when he lost 2-1 to City, when you went 1-0 up. Chelsea fans are talking about a performance here that they think they can grow from. I think you've got to be honest about that. I'm the captain now. Egal is paddling back. His stream was easy 3 points at the bridge. Listen, I didn't get a chance to challenge Egal on that. He may not have said on my stream it's going to be easy, but when you say Chelsea beating Arsenal was a bigger shock than Sheffield United beating Man United, that tells me you think it's going to be easy. I'm being honest with you. Yeah, Chelsea has injured players, but let's not forget Saliba and Saka were rushed in from injury. Partey is not fully recovered completely. Timber out for the season. Well, do you know what? If he's rushed players back,
that's on him.
If he's rushed players back that are not ready, you can only blame the manager for that.
Excuses. No more excuses. Chelsea are in phase 1. We're in phase 4. Yeah, no excuses for it. Don't care. Everybody wants to make excuses for the manager all the time, I'm sick and tired of it. Yeah, everybody wants to make excuses for these players. I am sick and tired of it. Yeah, £600 million squad we've got. I don't care if Chelsea's is worth $1 billion or whatever, right? We had 0 shot on target up until Declan Rice scored. Not good enough.
Yeah, that isn't good enough. You agree? We beat you when we were finishing 8th and you were winning the Champions League. It's only one game and you didn't win. Still unbeaten. We move is what D says. If we've learned one thing from tonight, Arsenal ain't winning no damn league, in my opinion. Chelsea dominated but didn't get the W, which is very true. Thanks for that super chat, Jerome. Come on, Chelsea are at the start of a 4-month, $1 billion rebuild. That's hilarious. Both teams didn't play well as a neutral. Great work, Terry. I'll be honest with you. As a neutral, I thought it was a sensational game of football. I really, really did. Egal is shameless after all that talking. Egal's just upset. He's allowed to be. The only thing I'm happy about today is that we kept our unbeaten run. It was a clear pen. Palmer could have gotten a red, but I also understand why it wasn't given. Yeah, I don't think it wasn't high enough to be a red. It was on the ankle. It was very similar to Saka versus, I think, the tackle he put on Bruno Fernandes earlier this season, and I didn't see any Arsenal fans say that was a red. So yeah, for me, yellow.
Having said that, though, right, that's a similar challenge, in my opinion, to the Kovacic one on Odegaard.
See, I think Odegaard. I think the one on Odegaard was slightly higher on the
red
shin.
card decisions this season.
Do you know?
Yeah, but when you look at red card decisions so far, when you look at red card decisions so far this season, right? Is that Cole Palmer tackle worse than Curtis Jones's? I think so. Because he's nowhere near the ball. He's only taking the player. And he's got his stud face.
But what we've got to realise is it doesn't matter about it's just about the opinion of VAR.
Yeah.
It's whoever's in that VAR.
Yeah. In fairness, I actually thought, again, in terms of danger, recklessness, I actually thought Thiago's kind of sweeping 2-foot thing is far more dangerous because tackles being red cards isn't always about hitting the player. It's about what would happen if you hit the player. And anything that's 2-footed, it's far more dangerous than what Cole Palmer did. But there we go. Leave Egal alone. All he said was facts. Stop talking about our rebuild. You've all had 3 managers since we've had Arteta. Not our problem. Shut up, is what NC Guna says. What Egal thinks Chelsea fans are behaving right now. We drew to Arsenal. Chelsea fans right now, we were robbed. Arsenal fans, we are still unbeaten. Shameless clown is what Dyke says. Credit to Chelsea. They played well, but we also had our worst performance in the league and they still couldn't beat us. Draw was a fair result. I can understand that. Not in terms of performance, but in terms of the moments. 4-month rebuild costing 250 million a month. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I love the banter. I've calmed down. These are the levels for Chelsea now. Time to step up. Chelsea beating us is more shocking than Sheffield beating United. By the way, Sheffield are dominating Man United right now. We're actually being outplayed 27 minutes in. I've been watching the game when everyone was talking. We are being outplayed by Sheffield United. We've got problems. It's not that you were horrible. They made you look horrible. I do agree with that. As bad as Arsenal look, I'm going to be honest. We're talking about Chelsea like they're a scrub, and I actually think they're a lot better than they've been made out to be. Ahmed here says Arsenal versus Chelsea, total shots 13-12. Sorry, we're creating half an opportunity here. Yes! Scotty McTominay! Scotty Mac! My throat. Come on! I thought it was Hoyland. Scotty Mac. Honestly, this guy is Zidane 2.0.
Imagine Ten Hag's hero being Scott McTominay 4 weeks ago.
Do you know what's money? I'm watching it on Sky Go, which means when I said we're being dominated, we probably had already scored.
Yeah. That's what he said. He said on the chat.
I'm just checking there's no offsides here because I'm nervous.
On the chat.
Oh, and it's a Bruno assist. Actually, it's a really good goal. It's a really good goal. He actually chests the ball down and fucking volleys it. It's really good. Told you he's Zidane.
After you said you've been dominated, 10 seconds later it said United goal and Scott McTominay had scored. Oh
my God. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. We're being dominated. I'm going to keep saying it. Penn was solid. Same happened to Romero at the North London derby. Action Jackson is not good. Arsenal shaky and deserve the loss. Raya should be dropped. Look, I agree 100%. Raya should be dropped. And right now, Maddison is outperforming Odegaard. I think you're spot on about that. Egal, go back to Specsavers. You're a disgrace. Take your L. Did we watch the same match? Oh, you watched it back on your TV.
Well, Thank you, John. If you thought Reece James was probably at the back post for their equaliser.
True. Happy with the point, but I don't think we deserved anything from the game. We were simply piss poor. More top 6 teams will lose points at the bridge. Could Chelsea continue? Listen, if Chelsea keep playing like this, that's why I don't put them in no title race. I think crazy. But this Chelsea team has got an outside chance of Champions League football, with the top 5 being because they're playing good football.
Just to add insult to injury as well, we let that fucking Ukraine Bolt score. I couldn't believe that. But he was chipping David Raya from that angle as well. I could not believe that we allowed.
In fairness, he didn't chip him. He flew. This is the irony. Yeah. He hit a terrible cross, but your goalie's positioning was so bad. It was so bad.
All the build-up was Kai Havertz was going to score the last-minute equaliser. No one mentioned Mudryk scoring
No.
against Arsenal all week.
Randy here says, how the mighty Chelsea have fallen, claiming dominance in a game they got turned over like a drunk girl at a party. Well, don't do that without permission. Today was on Arteta. Blaze here. Blaze says, Terry, they had 15 minutes at halftime to address the situation, and they still wanted to huddle up after that for the cameras. The cringe should have been 4-0. It could have been. You guys should have been away from them before they got their equaliser. There's no doubt about that. Keep in mind, Enzo and Caicedo were tired, especially Caicedo, who played a monster game in Ecuador at the World Cup in South America qualifiers, the hardest in the world. They just got a penalty. Sheffield United got a penalty. Great.
You should have said dominated. She didn't say dominated.
I know, because I didn't say it.
I didn't think Caicedo and Enzo...
McTominay's conceded it as well. I want to see it back. I think the ball bounced up and it's his arm. Let me have a little look at this. I've not seen handball penalties given in real time for a while. Oh, wow. His arm's by his side. And he gave it straight away.
No, they gave it straight away.
No, that's a handball. When you look at it in slow-mo, you see him kind of step across with his arm. It's actually done by McTominay. It doesn't even need to do it. And they're not going to overturn it. I think that's handball.
The best and the worst of Scott McTominay.
Yeah, 5 seconds. Ramsdale played the game, but his wife had given birth on Friday, which is true. Calm your T. Lee Gunner Jr. 4 or 5 goals is laughable. Chelsea had an XG of 1.5, including a false penalty, which is 0.76. They created below par chances.
The fact that he even just put a false penalty in that super chat just tells me you have no fucking knowledge.
Shove your XG, man. I hate XG.
Yeah, XG, X this, that, and the other. We got dominated.
Next will be expected passes.
Enigma here says, "Why? How was Saka trash? He gets past Cucurella 3 times, got the angle for angle wreck 5 times. I swear these reactionary Arsenal fans watch the game with their eyes closed."
I think Brandon. I don't know if Brandon said it. That assist will cover that performance from Saka today. That Saka did not have a good performance.
Let me ask you this, Tel. Right, for that super chatter there, yeah. Did you think Bukayo Saka had a good game for Arsenal today?
I thought he was poor up until about the 65th, 70th minute. Then he started beating Cucurella. So it wasn't a 90 minutes. He was quality. I think he was good for the last 20 minutes of the game. My genuine opinion. I think he was good for the last 20 minutes of the game. Daniel here says, "Why is everyone feeling sorry for Chelsea? They spent $1 billion in 18 months, and Chelsea should have be over the moon with a jaw. This is why I respectfully disagree with Brandon." Is what Daniel says here. Look, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's tuned in today. We are live after Man United, Sheffield United as well. So make sure you're back with us. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again.